right, so if I were to give you some Coach to Success best practices, number one, understand your people. Not just who they're married to, not where they live, not what they like to do for fun on the weekends. I mean, that's cool. But is that deep? You know, I think about the Sandler pain funnel. And when our prospects bring us the first problem, it's the surface level, right? They'd tell anybody. They'd tell somebody walking down the street about this problem because I'm not emotionally tied to it. It's our job to use the Sandler pain funnel and ask a lot of great questions to get to the heart of what's going on, the impact to them, to their business. Why in the world would we not do that when we're coaching our teams? We've got to ask more questions. I will suggest this if you've never tried it. Anybody ever heard of the 5 whys? Ask somebody why 5 times when they tell you something. So it's really important that I hit my goals, Suzette. Cool, why? They tell me something else a little bit deeper. Why is that important? They say something else. In a recent coaching session with another client, I was talking to this individual and she was telling me why it was important for her to reach her goals for the year. A lot of those were company goals. Okay, I get it. I said, so why is that important for you personally? And she told me something else. And then I asked her again, and why is that important to you? And you know what was at the core of what motivates her deeply? Because I want to provide a better life for my children. A better life for my children. So I didn't settle for the one question. I went 5 deep. Now I can meet her where she is as a leader. Okay? Now I truly understand who she is. 2 is thoughtful planning. Some of you raised your hand and said you're kind of winging it, your one-on-ones, and they take on a life of their own. I'm not saying that you have to follow a structure religiously every single time, but it's important to have a structure. It's important to be thoughtful when you're planning for these one-on-ones, to think about the situation, to think about the questions that you could ask this person. So be thoughtful, intentional, and I'll give you some ways to do that. Number 3 is a biggie. Environment of trust. Are we really creating an environment where they can trust us and tell us what they need to tell us so that we can help them? That's what this is all about. Have you ever read the book, The Trust Edge? By David Horsager, great book. He said there are 8 pillars of trust, and clarity is the first one. Without a clear plan, employers are confused. They become ineffective. He said, quote, people trust the clear and mistrust the ambiguous. Confusion breeds fear, frustration, and frankly, just a lack of focus. Build an environment of trust. 4, listen. There's 2 perspectives you see here. We know our perspective. That's easy. That's when we come in hot sometimes because we already figured it out. We need to fix the problem, right? We don't take the time to slow down because it's not as easy, at least in the beginning, to truly understand their perspective, right? So both perspectives, listen before you coach, and always, always create an ongoing coaching culture, not one of telling.
The Sandler Summit returns to the Orlando World Center Marriott on April 2nd and 3rd of 2025. Don't miss out on the premier sales and leadership event of the year. Reserve your seat now at sandler.com/summit.